Hey, you're joining us here at the central day of the Fiesta of Señor de Choquekillca. You're here with me and Marta, and we are watching the Cachampas. They are the first dance troupe up out of, I think it's 20 dances that are going to be doing this today. So, yeah, check it out. Enjoy. It's going to be good times. If you have questions, go ahead and type them in the chat and I will answer them as I am able. We have a commenter who says it's pretty wild to be sitting in his house in San Francisco watching people dance in Ollantaytambo, and that is one of the things that I think is really cool about modern technology. And actually it's kind of one of the things that's cool about Ollantaytambo in specific, because it is a pretty modern city that is also one of the oldest inhabited towns or cities in the Americas, in the New World, in this hemisphere. So it's pretty cool. So the Cachampas, who are dancing now, are generally seen as the main guardians of Señor de Choquekillca, who has been carried back inside the church. The door is right there. You can see it behind the shaded pavilion, and he's been carried back inside so that he doesn't have to endure too much sun, unlike everybody who's dancing for him. So is there a particular narrative? Well, so these guys they're rough and tough and take no guff, and so the whipping each other thing is sort of a traditional thing. Me está preguntando a ver si podemos explicar de buena manera por qué se están sobando. Bueno, así es la danza. Eso sí, así es la danza. Eso es la danza. Que los cachampas son así muy machos, así que siempre valientes, es la única danza valiente que baila. Es por lo que fe tienen, porque son los que protegen al Señor y todo eso. Eso es lo que representan, ¿no es cierto? La seguridad. So I just want to quickly show a little bit of beer, just a little bit of beer making its way someplace. That's probably going to a cargo, to a house where somebody has a cargo. Cargo is what they call it when you're responsible for making the thing happen. So you get a cargo or a charge or a burden of like dressing and feeding and providing drink for everybody in a dance troupe or their family. So there are 20 dance troupes in this particular fiesta, and then there are sort of the accessory small groups. Like there are the fireworks. There's a running of the bulls / bullfight and that kind of thing. But as to why the Cachampas are fighting with whips and so forth, it's because they are the valiant protectors of Señor de Choquekillca, who is the patron saint of Ollantaytambo. So you wouldn't want to mess with them because they come out strong and give a good showing. So there's going to be a bunch of different dances that are going to happen. And there's going to be dancing pretty much round the clock, but this is the central presentation of dances right now. And there's a little bit less than in sort of prior years because of this being the first time in several years, in 3 years, so 2019 was the last time that Señor de Choquekillca was held, because it was not held in 2020 or 2021. So Martha and I are here on the balcony of a friend's restaurant, and we're gonna eat a high protein meal so that we're mostly full before we go be fed other meals that we're gonna try to sort of largely decline because we have food and diet limitations we didn't used to, and it's so annoying. But anyway, so the major events are you gotta love the little kids. So they're learning to do their dances. They're doing pretty good. ¿Cuántos años tendrán los chiquitos?
Tendrán entre 6 añitos.
So those littlest ones are probably around 6. That's kind of the age when actual dancing starts happening. Sometimes you get dressed up. Sometimes little kids will get dressed up in a costume even younger than that and go along with the dance troupe. Like I say, there are 20 dance troupes, so some of them are waiting in the wings right now, and others are off having lunch at the house of the person who has the cargo for that. And later on, after we eat lunch, Martha and I, along with Manuel and Jocelyn, are going to go to the house of a cargullo because Manuel has been hurcad, and that is officially requested to participate and kick in on the food and drink for a dance troupe. And actually we've been asked to go to a few and sort of pitch in, so we're going to go a few places taking cases of beer later on. It's a whole community thing. And now we're going to see a change out of dancers. We're going to see some changing of dancers. You can hear that the music has changed. So I do want to let you know that they are that the loud noises, the loud whip cracking noises, are actually mainly hitting the ground. They are hitting the ground because it's a trick. It actually takes time. It takes time to learn how to make these loud noises with the whip.
El hijo también.
So the guy in red is the leader.
Ay, los chiquititos.
And now it's the little kids.
Los chiquititos tienen que hacer.
So there's the chance that we're going to hear some commentary from random tourists that are sitting around, and that's sometimes interesting to hear as well. So people decide if they want to be in a specific dance troupe or not by deciding that they like the dance of that troupe, right? And then they write a formal letter and make a formal request to the caporal or the leader of that dance troupe and to the president of the comparsa, the association that does it, and request to join. And then they get to join and go practice, all year long to do the specific dance. One of the things that's interesting in Ollantaytambo is that every dance troupe does one dance here in June at Pentecostés or for Señor de Choquekillca, which is what we're seeing right now. And then they dance a different dance in January for Bajada de Reyes. So those are the two main festivals here in Ollantaytambo, plus, of course, the anniversary of Ollantaytambo. Yep. So there they are. They're taking food for tomorrow for their hurka. So those are folks who've been asked to pitch in. Anyway, so this is it's all very interesting. There's a whole lot of tradition that goes along with this, and this is celebration for local folks. This is celebrating and really appreciating the patron saint of Ollantaytambo, who is Señor de Choquekillca, who is a large stone cross who appeared in the middle of the river probably during a flood. The origins are vague, but they go back to, they go back at least 500 years. And so for the first time ever in those 500 years, in 2020 and 2021, this festival was not held because of COVID. So it is a really big deal that it is being held again now, after this long pause, after this long break. And it's a pretty emotional time for everybody in town. And this is much more for people in town than it really is for tourists, although in other years, in past years, there would always be a lot of tourists here as well. So I think we're going to try and hold out and see how many of the 20 dances we can watch and film before it is time for us to go and take cases of beer for formal, super important drinking. Entonces, número dos, ¿quién será? Sacras? Looks like Sacras are the next dancers. So they have the fake blonde hair and horns, and they're very brightly colored, and they represent sort of devils, like mischievous devils. They are the mischievous crew. So they will always be getting up to mischief and doing stuff. And so here are some other bands that we see coming through, walking through here also, getting ready. So at the houses of the Gargullo, the people who are feeding and dressing and everything, all the dancers, there's going to be food and drink and dancing, but you can't expect, the bands who are marching in the streets to be playing for everyone to dance at those points too. They got to have their turn to eat and dance, so you have other bands that go there so that the party doesn't have to stop. So if you have questions, go ahead and type them in the chat and I will answer as I see them pop up. I'll be keeping an eye on all of that. Anyway, if you decide to dance Sacra, it's like that you like to play that personality of the troublemaker, the person doing what they shouldn't be doing, the devil that's getting up to all kinds of mischief, right? And if you decide that you want to dance Cachampa, it's because you are warlike and you enjoy whipping. So those are some of the ways that people decide what dances they want to do. Also, people will decide it based on the costumes that they like, but mostly it's on the dances, and also socially, like, do they have a lot of friends who do all of that? So Marta's son, my nephew, for example, dances contradanza, and his uncle is the leader of that group, and she's got two nieces and a cousin who dance in another troupe, and so there's all this different action that's going on all the time. It's really pretty interesting.
Voy a preguntar si está creída.
So you can see that that's just regular clothes. Those folk there are just wearing regular clothes. And that is another dance troupe over there. So it's all very interesting.
Oh, wow.
Aquí tenemos, entonces, yeah. So we've just gotten our fancy meal. So Marta and I are having a fancy meal. Ay, Dios, muchas gracias. ¿Tienes espacio?
Sí, cambiando.
So the dance that Sakras are doing looks fairly sedate, but under normal circumstances, in a regular festival year, they're running around, getting up to no good, starting all kinds of activity in the crowd. y después chileno, parece.
Después Magenio. Después de Magenio está viniendo Negrillas, creo. Después chileno. Después de contradanza viene.
Contradanza.
Anoche hasta eso he visto, hasta contradanza. Después nos hemos venido.
¿De dónde has visto?
Allá parada, estuve que ya me había cansado, ya esa parada no podía doblar.
En el frío. So Marta's son is in contradanza, which is dance number 8 of 20. This is dance number 2. Hoy otra vuelta en la noche lo hacen.
Sí, también a la noche.
So they're going to do this again tonight, also starting at 8 p.m. So the people with the blue vests with silver lettering on them have received the cargo for 2 dances, Cachampa and Chunchacha. Dos cargos. That's for next year. So that is a huge financial outlay.
La gente está llevando cerveza.
Yep.
A
Here.
diferentes cargos para comer, así. Hay invitado.
Yep. Tal vez llegamos a esperar hasta la danza hoy.
Posiblemente.
Puta, está bueno. Tú tienes mayonesa.
¿Tú quieres mayonesa? Yo no.
Lleva mi ketchup entonces.
Ya está. Esos dos salsas.
So if we pan out a little bit, you will see that all around the entire plaza, we're starting to see people taking beers and whatnot to the appointed places. That's going to include us in a bit. Ojalá no nos falta oportunidad de comprar cajas de chela. And there are other dancers in the wings. Can anyone else confirm for me that they're having trouble seeing the video on stream? best thing I can suggest is please make sure you are following my YouTube channel so that you will be notified that I'm going live, because if someone else confirms to me that they are not able to see video on screen right now, I have to start a new stream. It is not possible to pick it back up. YouTube is really kind of being terrible, which is why we were trying Twitch, which is much more dependable, but we didn't seem to have quite as many viewers. So if folks can confirm that they can or cannot see video, that would really be great. So I have a couple of reports of video not showing, so if anybody can confirm that they are or are not seeing video, just type in the chat. That would be great. If I get a confirmation that video is not showing, I will restart a fresh stream, because it is unfortunately not possible to resume streams with YouTube anymore.
Navidad le está gustando contradanza. Apágate, se van y los de contradanza a bailar.
Ajá.
¿Te imaginas desde ahí arriba que vengan bailando?
Wow. No, tendrá otro sitio, pues. All right, so since nobody has commented saying that they are having trouble viewing video, I am working with the assumption that it is showing as intended, despite one report that it was not. So if anybody is not seeing video or sees a problem, please tell me so that I can start a fresh stream, since you can't apparently restart them or rejoin them on YouTube anymore. So if you have questions about what you're seeing, just type them in the chat and I will answer questions. And also I'd love to know where you are watching from, so I can give a shout out to whoever's watching from wherever. I know we've got one person in San Francisco, California. Right now you are watching the Chunchachas. They are the young wild girls. That's who they represent. En todo otro sitio sí hay. Okay, so I'm going to restart the stream. Please make sure you go to Abby's Yarns on YouTube. I'm going to restart it. It will be at a new URL. So since I'm getting another report of a black screen. Thank you.